Alright, today we're going to be talking about how to clean and weatherproof your outdoor gym equipment, specifically anything made out of iron. I'm going to show you how to get your equipment that looks like this and transform it into this. Gym equipment capable of surviving the outdoor elements. And really, when I say elements, I mean water. If you store your stuff outside, it's going to get wet. Even if you cover your equipment with a tarp, fog and morning dew will still be able to cause your equipment to rust and fall apart. So it's important to safeguard your outdoor gym equipment from this devastating threat before your beautiful iron ends up looking like orc armor. Alright, so first let's talk about the required equipment needed to clean up your home gym. So first you're going to need some sort of rag to sort of wipe your equipment down with. Personally, I'm using this oil-soaked rag. This is my WD-40 rag that I use to wipe down my gym equipment in between workouts. Then you're going to also need some universal paint and primer. So make sure you read the label and ensure that it will work on any surface, including metal. And then you're going to need some gloves that you don't mind getting coated in rust powder. Trust me, you do not want to do the sanding process without gloves. Then, of course, you're going to need some sandpaper, a tarp to lay the equipment onto when you're ready to paint it. And then also having a fan present will speed up the drying process and just make this entire cleaning process a lot more efficient. Alright, now that we have all of our gear, we're going to start cleaning the equipment. So go ahead and take your rag or oil rag and just make sure you get any excess moisture or debris off the iron. Step 2 is to sand the entire surface area of what you plan on painting. So you want to firmly hold down that piece of gym equipment and sand it as rigorously as you can. After you put a little elbow grease in, rub your hand over the surface and feel for any bumps. If you feel any burrs, rust, or any distortion in the iron, go back and sand it some more until you don't feel them anymore. Once the piece of equipment is smoothed out and has more of a gunmetal type color, it's now ready for some paint. Alright, step 3. So now that your iron is all smoothed out, it's time to lay out the equipment onto your tarp. If you have a fan turned on, ensure that it's either off or pointed away when you start painting. Otherwise, it's going to whip paint all over the place and you're going to get it everywhere. So go ahead and grab your Omni Surface paint primer and cover the entire surface area of the equipment, ensuring you get every bit of exposed metal that you can see. Alright, now that your piece of equipment is painted, you're going to point your fan at the equipment and wait for about 30 minutes or so. Once you can wipe your hand across it and not have any paint come off onto your hand, it's ready to turn over. Once it's flipped, finish painting all of the surface area that didn't get hit on the first pass. And then, of course, point your fan back at the equipment and wait for another 30 minutes to an hour or so. Once the equipment is dry, it's now ready for outdoor storage. Now, you're going to need to take very good care of it, especially if you live in a wet environment like I do. Every time I use my equipment, anytime I do a workout, I always wipe down the iron with my oil rag. Sometimes I'll put a little extra WD-40 on the rag. Not too much. I'm not trying to soak the equipment, but you just want to get a light coat on the iron. And like I said, I do this every training session, at the end of every training session, just to stave off the rust that's going to inevitably come back. General use of this equipment will eventually begin stripping the paint off little by little until it's time for another fresh coat. And that is how you weatherproof your iron equipment in your outdoor gym. I hope you found something useful in this video, and peace out.